scrappy friends, welcome to the Spiegelman Scraps YouTube channel. It is Hannah with you here today, and I'm going to be working on a traveler's notebook spread in which I'm going to be stitching on. This week is stitching week, and it's pretty much the end of stitching week. So I hope you guys have been enjoying all the other spreads and layouts and such that are using stitching. I am going to be not hand stitching. I thought about it, but I'm going to be using my sewing machine. I really enjoy using my sewing machine. I just got it this past year, so this winter, and it's really fun to come up with ways that you can incorporate stitching into your stuff the way that you do it. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. Right now, I am cutting some just plain white cardstock from the store. I didn't know if you knew, but Spiegelman Scraps sells white American craft cardstock, and I love to get it from there because it's just plain cardstock. And sometimes I guess I could go to like Michael's or whatever and get some, but it's just so much. I don't know. I like the American craft version, and if I don't have to leave my house and I can buy cardstock, I'm happy. I don't mind shopping online whatsoever. But anyway, so I'm going to be using this to build my layers on because I don't want to stitch in my traveler's notebook at this point because it's getting pretty full. And I think stitching on it will probably ruin it more than it will look amazing. So, whoop, I hit it. I hit my stand. Every once in a while I knock it. So I'm just looking through the Maggie Holmes Chasing Dreams collection. I have not used that much of it, and I have a ton of 6x6 papers, and then I'm looking for a wood grain to use because this is a nature photo, which I've scrapped. I don't know if it was this exact picture, but one like it not too long ago on my own channel. But I want to do a traveler's notebook spread because one, I just can't get enough of this view anyway, but also I kind of want to take it in a different direction. And I don't mind if I use similar pictures if I'm journaling about something different. And so I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. And I thought about doing like diagonal, like having the papers diagonal and doing a pattern that way, but I decided that I wasn't sure about it. My gut was telling me not to do it, so I didn't. So I am layering these, and I'm going to take a picture so I can go back for reference. I wanted to show that because sometimes I do that. Sometimes I will take a photo of what I'm doing and then reference it later for the layers. So now I've pretty much stitched on everything. I added vellum to this, and so now I'm making like a shaker pocket for the one side. One side will just be the pattern paper, and the other side has the pattern paper with the vellum over top. And so now all my stitching is done. I don't have a way to tape my stitching, so unfortunately you didn't get to see me do that, but I ruffled up each layer, like the edges of each of the layers, so that it would be a little bit more texturally pleasing, and I left the edges on, and I'm gonna end up sewing that too to my layout. So, and as you can see, I have so here I'm ruffling even the edge of the photo, and I just thought that sewing the photo on would just make it look really cool. So it would kind of work with, so I used a little bit of washi tape on the edges of a few of the strands, but for the most part I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to use a lot of adhesive. I'm using some red line. Of course I ran out while I was doing this, so I didn't use as much as I would have liked, but that's okay. And one of them I have it all the way around each of the edges, so the one with the shaker pocket because it's heavier, and then this one is just going to have a few, and then I'll just use my ATG for the rest of it. So I just wanted to show me putting it on, and then I won't show you me taking it off because that takes a little bit longer. And once I get this down, and I press really hard to really make it like stick and adhere to these pages because they are heavier, because I did tons of stitching. And that second one was a little bit harder just because it was a lot thicker and it had the shaker. And I'm using that copper clip to hold it all together. It's super cute. It doesn't match with the gold, but that's okay. And I'm looking through some die cuts because I was thinking about using some of the die cuts from the pack, but I didn't end up really caring for too much of them. So I'm going to end up using more stickers and stuff instead, but that's okay. I thought about using that bird. It's really pretty, but it just didn't feel right. And I didn't want to cover up all that stitching that I did. I mean, I did all that stitching and I really want to be able to see it because it looks amazing. It looks really, really nice and fun. That's the fun part about adding stitching to your projects. And I use that fun script sticker. And I'm sorry you can't see down at the bottom right now. I wasn't paying enough attention to the fact that it was a little bit lower. Sometimes I get scrapping and I don't think about checking and making sure I'm completely in. So I'm sorry about that. But I know right now I'm just kind of looking through some stuff. I mostly use the Chasing Dreams collection stuff. I mean, it works all together and it's so pretty. It works really well with this insert, that teal. And that, just so you know, in case you're wondering, these inserts are actually Midori brand. They're from Japan. So I got them from Amy Tan when I took a class from her. So they're really nice and they're just super fun. They're just fun to play with. And then I'm going to use some alphas here. I'm using those little block ones from the different kits. And I end up spelling out Summer View. So, and like I said, I love this shot of Mount Rainier. This is pretty close to my house. So you can, if there weren't trees in the way, you would be able to see it right from my house. I can see the top, the very, very tippy top, but there's a lot of evergreen trees, thus evergreen state, right? So you can't, I don't have a clear view like this, but this is right down the street from my house. It's not very far. So I live in a semi-country area. It's more country than some places and less country than other places. But the view of Mount Rainier is gorgeous. And I mean, I could just stare at it all day, especially in the summer. And to me, it's amazing how much the snow sits on it. I mean, this is in June and it still has all snow. The snow is starting to go up. So probably by the end of this month, only the tip will have the snow. And I'm actually looking forward to going to visit Mount Rainier. That's one of our plans for the summer, is to go up and have a nice drive and stuff. But we are kind of waiting for the snow to go down a little bit to warm it up and stuff. So I just use those puffy stickers over on that tag. And that tag is actually from Open Book, but I really like the map style. And then I'm just going to layer some extra sequins around. And I added me gluing them down because, well, one, I do them in sections because I kind of want to get an idea for how it looks. But I just used the Tombow Mono Multi glue. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. I like this one because it sticks a lot harder, but I know a lot of other people use different kinds. And I've also used glossy accents. I like that too. But it's not as sticky on your fingers, but I feel like this sticks better than the glossy. I think those pop off a little bit easier. So that is one thing to know, that if you're going to do this in your traveler's notebook, some of them might pop off, and that's okay for me. Like, I don't mind that. It's not, you're probably not going to notice it over time, but it'll be fun. So here are some close-ups. Don't forget to head over to the store and check out all the new sequins, and I will see you guys later. I hope you have a great scrappy week. Bye.